my wise people. I was trying to do the readings for April, to continue the psychic readings for April, and as I was asking which sign I'm guided for next, I actually have been stopped on my tracks and guided to talk a little bit for every star sign, for all of us, something that's going to affect us soon. I said in a previous reading that April is a very important month in respect of astrological aspects and is going to affect us strongly. Time to end the karmic cycle for those who were in a karmic cycle, and there is a new moon in Aries coming up at the end of the week, and that is very important. There will be surprises happening for everyone, so I suppose in order to help us get through the changes, the main massive changes, and at the same time I believe surprises, because these changes may come as big surprise for some people, get some insight to support us through these changes. The first card I have pulled again from the deck of crystals is the Muscovite, and the keywords are reflective, flexible, and insight. With knowledge comes release. I'm not going to read the whole explanation. I'm just going to give you what I feel are the important highlights and what will help us get the messages that we need. So with knowledge comes release of tension and balance, and Muscovite promotes a flexible, clear perception of reality. It initiates change by allowing us to see ourselves as others do, and supports the process of growth with loving acceptance. The clarity of understanding expands to our mental abilities and even our physical appearance, as all within and around us becomes brighter and more authentic. So definitely big changes. Even this card is talking about them coming. In respect of healing, it says the balancing essence of this stone works well in all aspects of healing and relieving of disease. In this way, it promotes healing and restful sleep. It is particularly useful in detoxification processes such as fasting, and strengthen the function of the kidneys and pancreas. So it makes sense why I kept getting, when I was asking, after I pulled this card first, I kept getting the King of Swords, and I sensed it's not about the star sign of the Libra. It was about balance, and the divinatory meaning is, drawing this card indicates it is time to step outside yourself and see yourself and your situation clearly. Do you live your life with conscious reflection of your actions and motivations? If not, it is time to listen, absorb, and reflect. So we will be, whether we like it or not, pushed into change. We are supported, so everyone should realize whatever changes are coming are meant to happen. And one aspect that will affect, that these changes will affect, is about how we control, or how we think we control our life. We need to learn to become more acceptant and wise of how things happen in our life. We need to change and have more faith in the future and in our destiny. We tend to be discontent at times with how things go in our life, but it's time now to understand that life happens as we created it, and we want it to be in control. And this is the time for us to understand that we can't always have control other than our mind if we work hard, and our emotions, again, if we work hard. Other than that, we can't control anything. And these two, in order to get to master, it takes a lot of hard work, constantly and consistently. And if we don't do that, life just happens to us. However, whatever we did so far, it is the end of the cycle. I said about, I've spoken about this before as well. Things are changing now. This is the card of Uranus. I'm not talking star sign so much. I'm talking planets, because it's very much about what happens astrologically. I said before, I'm not an astrologer, but I do read and research a lot, and I have been guided to talk about this. I believe because of the main changes happening now in my star sign, which is Aries, on one hand, but not so much to do obviously with that, but the fact that is the sign of Aries when massive changes happen, new beginnings. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, is the sign of pioneering, of starting new things, experimenting, complete new beginnings, generally speaking. And these new beginnings at this time are very important because they affect everyone on every level, or in every aspect of life on a very deep level, to be more correct. So it's time to let go of that need of control, and the only thing that we should focus on trying to get some control over is our mind, self-mastery of the mind and of the emotions. The next card from them, they did come in free, as they say they would. It really did happen. I didn't realize initially, so I went for the first one and kept asking which sign I should go for, and I kept getting as general, speak about it for everyone. So then I realized I need to look at the other cards as well. The next card from the deck of crystals is amber. I'm not quite sure if you can see the light is good enough. The keywords are grounding, healing, cleansing, and balancing. In respect of healing, it says very good in aiding the relief of depression and other mental imbalances that cause feelings of disconnectedness. It helps to treat the internal organs, especially the kidneys, spleen, stomach, bladder, liver, and gallbladder. Good for overall healing, both on physical and emotional levels. So exactly what I was saying, I believe it was in the Leo April reading, about mental illnesses, mental imbalances, because that's what I was actually trying to say. It wasn't so much about mental health illnesses as it was about mental imbalances. And I did say that everyone is affected to a certain degree, because it all happens in childhood, and we all still bring in memories from our ancestors. So we are all bound to a certain degree to suffer from some mental imbalances. And I was giving the example, obsessive thinking, or the inability of controlling the thought process, and how we tend to follow it like a dog with a bone. And the divinatory meaning of this card is, drawing this card indicates a need for balance and healing in our life. Look to the past to shine a light on the future. So there you go, I rest my case. It's saying exactly the same thing I was just now talking about. Our past will explain the present and the future. However, the future can be changed, and I'm sure this is the reason why I have been guided to talk about the new moon in Aries coming up at the end of this week, because it's going to be very important, life-changing, and will cause surprises. So if you are prepared, hopefully you will know how to deal with the surprises, will be more wise and acceptant of the new coming into your life. I believe we are guided to heal any disappointment, sense of deceit, sense of injustice coming from the past. We may not be even aware of these things. They can happen at a time when we are not yet aware of life around us, or it could be things that we bring into this world from past lives, or from, as I said, our ancestors, and we haven't yet remembered them. The soul, the reincarnation of the soul in this lifetime hasn't got to the stage where we can yet remember them and understand them. So there is a struggle of finding balance in our emotions. I mentioned that earlier. Mastering the mind and controlling the mind and mastering the emotions is what every human being should strive for. Other than worrying about controlling outside circumstances, we need to learn to control the self. So look back into your past, whether on your own or with the help of a professional. Do whatever type of healing you manage, but definitely I feel that some people need therapy, because some of the issues seem to exist still and work and affect us from subconscious level. So we might not be aware, especially Leo men, I would say, and Virgo men. I've noticed that as a pattern for those two. That being said, however, please be aware everyone is affected to a certain degree. As I said, knowingly or unknowingly, because a lot of it still lays dormant in the subconscious mind. Balance your emotions. Understand that whatever is coming at the turn of this new moon in Aries is meant to happen. And it is a change of karma. It is actually an end of a karmic cycle or a karmic debt, depending on each soul's journey. And this is our opportunity to heal very deeply and learn how to live life on our terms once and for all, and how to accept changes coming. I also have here another crystal card, the third one that I was telling you about, the opal. Keywords: magnifying emotional prophecy. I'm trying to get in the screen the last set of cards. The healing advice about from the opal card says, good for alleviating mental states such as depression and low self-esteem. Physical sight is also enhanced. It helps with stabilizing blood disorders, sexual issues, fevers, and infections. Practically, if we think of each of the cards, we are supported in healing every aspect on one hand, but pretty much every illness on the other hand. So we heal the soul, we heal the body, we heal the mind, we heal the heart. Do not let this opportunity escape. Another advice that I remember was to keep pressing through, because as you heal the disappointments from the past, as I said, whether things that you are aware or not yet, before you do your healing and your therapy, you will struggle with balancing initially, because things get worse before they get better. You will struggle with balancing your emotions. You will get to feeling the heartache, perhaps experiencing that feeling again. However, you have to be brave and you have to be strong and push through with the fire and the strength of the Aries energy. Back to the opal, the divinatory meaning says, drawing this card signifies it is time to focus on love and emotions. Are you honoring yourself, seeing clearly and listening to your heart? So, after being advised that massive changes are happening and are coming our way, and we should be prepared for them, and we should let go of control issues, and the only thing that we should try and control would be the self, through mastering the mind and the emotions, and being grateful for the fact that a karmic cycle or debt is ending, as being paid, probably both, because they are not the same thing, by the way. Some people can have more than one karmic debt and go through the one karmic cycle. However, it is time now when we can square it up with life, this one and the past ones as well. And then we have been advised to focus on healing of the hidden aspects, mainly in order to be able to heal the surface and what is seen as well, actually not as well, as a consequence, and then also as a consequence to heal the future, rather than living life as it would happen to us. We take the reins, not control as such, but responsibility, if you like. That would be the difference. We take responsibility and we do something about it, instead of ignoring and just going with whatever we've managed to create up to that point, and whatever we've manifested in that way in our lives. So now we are being advised, as the third stage of our healing and transformation process, to heal our love life and follow our heart. You have always heard me talking about not following your mind as it plays tricks, but follow your heart. And you have, in order for that, I know this is something that can cause confusion, because some people think that they are in love, or maybe they are to a certain degree in their own way in love with somebody, and they think that they should go for that kind of feeling. But you need to be able to distinguish whether it is true love, what you feel, and not just some sort of self-gratifying need that you know you could get from a person, and then you suffer because you don't really get it from that person because you've made the wrong choice. However, provided you are aware that your feelings are right and true, and for the right person, or in general for whatever choices you make in life, you need to follow your heart. Another way of following or of knowing that you're doing the right thing and you do follow your heart instead of following your mind, is when you have to make a decision and you don't have to convince yourself. You don't have to bring too many arguments to yourself that would support a certain decision. If you need to convince yourself about something being right, then it's definitely not right. If you deep down in your heart feel, if you move your intention from the mind into your heart, and when it's there you feel good about it, then it is the right thing. In the third step of this process, of the healing process, communication in relationship, and we did speak about healing communication several times in my readings. So you need to heal your love life. You need to follow your heart. You need to do what is right for you, for your soul, for your heart, not for others. Because if you're not happy, no one else around you will be happy. It's just not possible. So whatever excuse you may have or you may used to have about your decisions in your love life, they don't apply. If they would have applied, you wouldn't be in any predicament. You would live a happy, fulfilled love life. If there are issues in your love life, something hasn't been done the right way. So you need to look within yourself and decide what needs healing. Where have you made the wrong decisions? Where, at what point, what stage you haven't decided right and for yourself, or you haven't decided for the right reasons by yourself. Not only communication in love life needs to be healed, but also communication with your family. Whichever family, whether it's the family you've created or the family you come from. So parents, siblings, or spouses, children. You have to communicate with them openly because things are changing. And whether you do it by choice or not, the communication is going to happen or things will come out. And if you don't do it yourself, things will come out and will cause problems because they won't come out the right way. So you have to make a choice, turn inwards, take some time, take stock, and decide how you can support the healing process in communicating with your loved ones. Because you love them even if you or they are wrong. Being angry or furious or frustrated with somebody doesn't mean you don't love them. In the same breath, obviously, it doesn't mean you are in love with them. And remember, anyway, we are talking more about family, not about the love life here, which we have mentioned already. So communication, good proper communication in your relationship should go without saying for absolutely everyone. Communication with family members also needs healed, done in a way where you can control and be in charge of your words and the message you convey. So again, it comes down to self-control. You can't control anything or anyone. You can't control any outside factors, circumstances, people, objects. You can only control yourself. What you do, what you say, what you feel, what you think, how you react. And ideally, you should not react, you should act. You have to understand and take charge of the way you communicate, of how you feel, and how you deal with your family. You need to do it. Am I here? So you have to embody the energy of the Nine of Pentacles. And the fire energy of the King of Wands. So earth and fire energy, self-control and passion, and coming to an end of a cycle as well, so completing a cycle that will cause a shift in emotions. So water energy, the emotions, the cups. In communication, which has to be right, has to be honest and proper. The Queen of Swords energy. When it comes to family, connections and members. I have also pulled a card for each star sign from the journey cards, because I found them most appropriate. They are about awakening your enlightened awareness. I found this as being most appropriate for guidance at this time of important, unique, and perhaps once in a lifetime changes for all of us. As it happens, I've pulled two cards for Aries, stillness and compassion. Again, I do not believe at all is to do with the fact that I'm an Aries myself. I do believe is to do with the fact that I need, even myself, to get perhaps double message, more comprehensive message, a message that would affect more than one aspect. So for Aries, the advice, one of the messages is to stay still and stop all the activity. We know that we are very restless, and be silent. If life has been frenetic and activity filled of late, this is your invitation to stop. If thoughts have been tiring you, it is time to rest. Exactly what I was saying, typical Aries. Simply sit and open your being. Drop all striving and effort. Just be. Take a deep breath in and let it out, and let your awareness gently go inwards. Notice how your breath feels as it comes in through your nostrils, and feel the warmer air as it flows out. I really need glasses. Actually, I'm just gonna put them on. Oh, they are clean. Let your awareness, first become aware of the joy. Become aware of the tiny pause between the breaths. Let your awareness rest in that space. Stillness is waiting there, calling you into itself. Let your awareness become more spacious and just rest. Stay open in the stillness that is always here waiting. So definitely, Aries, you got to stop thinking that much. For those who can't control their mind, that is not particularly an Aries trait. I believe that would come from different planetary aspects on your birth chart, or placements or aspects as well. But I believe this is very much also about taking a break from activity, from the constant restlessness. If you want to find your answers, and I did say this a while ago in another reading, if you want to find your answers to your questions, you need to stop, you need to pray, you need to pause, or do whatever practice. I pray because that's how it works for me. But you definitely need to ask for guidance first, and then pause and patiently wait for the message to come to you, and it will. And the second card for Aries is compassion, and I knew it's for Aries because it made sense after a very recent event. Actually yesterday I think it happened, or the day before. So it really made sense and resonated with me. If it resonates with other star sign, by all means do take the message as well. Sometimes it's more important to be kind than right. Such a massive message for Aries right at the beginning there. Are you being hard on yourself, or perhaps a little hard on someone else? When someone's behavior causes you to judge them harshly, stop for a moment. It is possible that person may be hurting inside and trying to deflect or dispel their pain. Projected pain comes out in a myriad and unattractive ways. Take a moment to look beyond the surface behavior to their deeper self. See how they are really feeling. Rather than turning your back in judgment, reach past their protective armor and offer a loving hand. Choose compassion, open to your humanity. As you find compassion for others, you'll find compassion for yourself comes more easily and naturally. And I was just about to end a friendship yesterday or the day before because I did not like someone's behavior, and it took me a conversation with a close friend who's also a psychic, and took time and sat in stillness today asking for the best course of action. And there you go, as I was saying earlier and in Aries' reading for April, the message did come. For Taurus, the card for Taurus is mind. Your mind does not exist except in your imagination, Punjaji. The nature of the thinking mind is fear, doubt, and judgment, a stream of imagined words, sounds, and pictures passing through consciousness. The only meaning it has is the meaning we invest in it. It is not real. Have you been entertaining thoughts recently? Have you been analyzing, interpreting, dissecting, revisiting them until you're tired of them? There's no problem with the mind. Resistance to it is the only difficulty. So welcome all thoughts right now. Let them all come and attach no meaning to them. Let them be none of your business. Let them come and let them go, and then discover what remains untouched by any thoughts. Find the field of presence wherein all thoughts rise and fall, the universal mind, omniscience. You are that. So Tauruses. Have you been in your mind quite a lot lately? Because if you have, and that's another thing I keep banging on about, the mind plays tricks on us. It's not the mind that you need to go by. It's your heart. What does your heart tell you? Move your intention from the mind into your heart if you want to find the answers. See what you find there. Take time. Don't rush into decisions, and don't be judgmental, and don't judge yourself either. Accept whatever comes. Resistance is speaking about resistance. Accept whatever comes to you. It's the only way of dissolving it, because otherwise what we resist persists. Don't drive yourself mad thinking and thinking and thinking. If anything, you can make a list with all the thoughts so you can free your mind, take them out, put even that energy out of yourself, of your system and your body and your energy field and your mind. So free yourself completely. Accept everything and see how you are going to be guided afterwards, ideally from your heart. And remember what he says, thinking comes from fear. So we usually try to think in order to avoid pain because we have a fear of something. The message for Gemini is unconditional love. The way of love is not subtle argument. The door there is devastation. Birds make great sky circles of their freedom. How do they do it? They fall, and falling they are given wings. Rumi. Unconditional love is at the core of your being. It's the truth of who you really are. It's your own essence. It's boundless, non-personal, and all-embracing. And it exists in the core of your strongest emotions. Open and surrender to any emotion. If it's debilitating and breaks your heart, open wider still. There, in the core, you'll discover a love that is limitless, pure, never-ending. Just rest there. You are love itself. So, Geminis, as you know, you're always seeking knowledge, seeking the ideal, and love. So, I believe the advice for you is to be love and not worry about anything or anyone. Once you are love, you will feel loved and you will attract the right person. Once you will embody, and love doesn't have to be the main issue, whatever it is that you strive for, once you embody that quality, you will attract that quality from outside yourself as well. You will vibrate at that frequency and it will be met. And this should put your mind to rest, Geminis, because you also are very restless, however, more in the mind as opposed to physically, as Aries are. So I hope you will find your peace, Geminis, by taking this advice. What we got next? Cancer. Play. The card for Cancerians is called Play. Sometimes we become so responsible, so serious, so caught up in life's dramas that we forget the simple joy of playing. Playing like a child is a spiritual practice. When you give yourself permission to laugh with a friend, to get lost in an exciting board game, to let go in sport, to dance, sing, paint, write, run in nature, or just be out and out silly for the sake of it, you communicate to the universe that not everything is a struggle. You give yourself some breathing space and open up the possibility of refreshing new ways of thinking and being in your life. Drawing this card is a direct command to lighten up and let go. Why can angels fly? Because they take themselves lightly. So, Cancerians, we know you're very, very emotional people. You are ruled by the moon. And you tend to take everything very seriously. So there you go, this is your advice. Stop taking everything so serious. Enjoy life more, worry less. Accept whatever is coming your way and try to understand why that happens, rather than fighting it and being stuck and stubborn about it. Because we also know that there is a tendency, especially in Cancerian men, of getting stubborn about things and not letting go. Leos. Perfection. There is an innate perfection that pervades all of life. The rosebud is as complete in its perfection as the rose in full bloom. That same perfection is in the faded rose petals and even in the decayed petals as they offer themselves back to the soil. Are there ways in which you are striving to get things right, struggling to make them more perfect, pleading, if only, then I could finally relax? What if you were to stop playing God for a moment, stop trying to fix, change, and perfect what is already perfect? Just relax, fall into the divine perfection that permeates the whole universe, that surpasses each moment. Rest in it, bathe in it, deeply relax in the knowledge that things are perfect just as they are. God does not need your help to make life more perfect. So, Leos, we have a problem. Me and my Leo rising, everything is perfect as it is. We just have to acknowledge that and stop worrying and beating ourselves up, trying to make things better. There is an innate perfection, so whatever is happening is meant to happen that way, practically. And we should allow ourselves to relax and not always postpone in the hope that something will, add the thought that something needs more perfecting. If anything, self-healing. And if we do self-healing, then we won't worry so much. So I believe the message for Leos is that they tend to worry. We know they are leaders. We know they want everything to be perfect. We know they like the spotlight. And because of that, they fear that they wouldn't show perfectly in the spotlight. I'm quite happy actually, and it does resonate with me very much, this message. I'm quite happy actually because I've started my channel. It was really difficult initially. It was hard to find the right angle of filming. It was difficult to find the right type of readings. It was difficult to express myself, especially in Mercury retrograde, as I'm really affected. Then I had to do readings through Mercury retrograde in my own sign. I was worried about everything being perfect, and nothing was perfect, but I just went and pushed through. I didn't give up, and things just got better and better. And there will be times when things won't be perfect, and I couldn't give a monkey's, because I'm not perfect, or I am perfect as it is, and everything is perfect as it is. You just got to stop that fear that things are not perfect, or that you have to work harder or more. Yeah, keep working. It's important to keep working. It's important to work harder. It's important to make mistakes. It's important to accept things as they are. I'm not going to redo this video because at some point I couldn't see properly, or I couldn't read the quote properly. Stuff it. It's the message that is important. Whoever needs to listen again will go rewind, listen again, will take the essence and would not stumble over the intonation, the way I was reading, or the pronunciation, or where the camera's pointing, or whatever. It's a very important lesson for Leos. And yes, I am in the spotlight. I put myself out there to the whole world, because everyone can come across this. And I'm happy that I'm doing it, because important is the insight and the message and the support for people. Not if the display is perfect, or the angle of the camera, or the way I pronounce a word or a quote, I read a quote or something. So moving on to Virgos. The card for Virgos is flexibility. I have given up the need to be consistent. Gandhi. Have you become rigid of late in the ways you have been thinking, speaking, acting? Have you noticed moments where some old beliefs have arisen, old conditioning that restricts or limits you? This is your invitation to take off the straitjacket and to stretch with flexibility. This is the moment to loosen up and let go and try a new way. Introduce new words into your everyday vocabulary. Try some unusual ones. Use your body in ways you haven't done for a long time, maybe never have done. Stretch physically and openly challenge some old beliefs. Find out what is untrue or unreal about them. If they've not been serving you, try out some refreshing new ones for a change. It's fun to be flexible. It's liberating too. Again, from my experience with loads of Virgo people in my life, flexibility is a very good message and advice for Virgos, because they tend to like things their own way, not very open for change, unless it really tickles and suits them. But there are more than just a few aspects that people need to be flexible with in this life. As Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend. You need to become flexible, Virgos, because first and foremost, again from my experience, most of you tend to get stuck on past hurts. And I'm not talking relationship, I'm talking childhood. And you need to heal that. You need to heal that, and you need to learn to live in a different way, a way that suits you, not a way that you've been conditioned to live in. And you also got to learn to be flexible, Virgos, because whatever is not flexible and doesn't bend in the right direction at the right time will snap. And you are sensitive people. You don't want to be pushed into situations where you don't have flexibility, the flexibility needed to adapt and adjust, and then find yourself snapping and cracking under the pressure. And this is very important as well because of the initial guidance and main message of the reading. Things are changing big style, so learn to accept the changes and to go with them, Virgos. Prepare yourself. We only have a few days left. Whatever is changing in your life, understand is meant and is for your highest good. I know loads of Virgo men who cannot find the right person or the right partner because they do not heal past issues from the childhood, and they affect and control their life. And also there is another situation where they find people that are not right for them, or people who could be right but they don't know how to treat them right. Virgo women, very much similar situation to do with the past. They are not flexible, don't accept the change. They are stuck in their ways, which are caused and conditioned by decisions from the past. So very, very good and apt and applicable message for Virgos. Libras. Second chance. Everything is dual, isn't it, when it comes to Libra? Have you given up on something or someone recently? Have you let go of a dream or settled for second best in some way? Have you limited or contained yourself somehow? It's time to give yourself a second chance. Know that life is a flow, a stream of consciousness that is constantly, wondrously changing. No two moments are the same. Life loves us so much that each moment it offers us a blank page to write our life anew. It's time to pick up that dream, reach for that star, start afresh. Allow your natural wisdom and grace to guide you. Know that each life experience teaches us profoundly if we but listen deeply. And know that each day is a fresh start, each hour is a pristine new beginning. Know that every new second is your second chance. I love this about Libras. I love Libras as well. I have loads in my life. It's a very difficult thing being a Libra as well, because they are very sensitive. They also find very difficult to make their mind up about things. And bless them, as soon as they make their mind up about something, they somehow manage to self-sabotage themselves and end up in a very uncomfortable situation. And then they have to work hard again. And this is a cycle they keep going through. I feel there are many second chances that Librans normally are being given, either by life or people in around them. But I believe that this is actually referring to their own giving of the second chance. I feel the Librans need to do it themselves for themselves. It's not about anyone else or those around. I feel that Librans need to learn to trust themselves, to trust wisdom of life, and to learn from it. Hello wise people, continuing the new moon in Aries reading for April 2018 for all signs, because I got interrupted as I was talking about Librans. So the card that I pulled for Librans from the journey deck is called Second Chances, and I will read it again just in case I won't be able to edit it and put it together. It says, have you given up on something or someone recently? Have you let go of your dream or settled for second best in some way? Have you limited or contained yourself somehow? It's time to give yourself a second chance. Know that life is a flow, a stream of consciousness that is constantly, wondrously changing. Not two moments are the same. Life loves us so much that each moment offers us a blank page to write our life anew. It's time to pick up that dream, reach for that star, start afresh. Allow your natural wisdom and grace to guide you. Know that each life experience teaches us profoundly if we but listen deeply. And know that each day is a fresh start, each hour is a pristine new beginning. Know that every new second is your new second chance. And I did say a few things there about Librans, and my other couple of clarifications that I felt, two messages I felt were important for Librans, were one for Libra men who tend not to learn from life experiences and keep repeating their mistakes, which is very sad because they self-sabotage themselves badly by doing that. And for Libras in general, to learn to be more confident and trust themselves, because only that way they can reach their full potential. And they are good, hardworking, intelligent and emotional people who deserve the best in life. Not that everyone else doesn't, by the way, obviously, but that's for them because they tend to be quite insecure at times about their abilities, and it's just a shame because they are very able people. The next card is for Scorpios, and the card is called Honesty. This card is inviting you to examine your life right now. Are there emotions coming up that you've shoved aside or pretended you didn't feel? It's time to drop the pretense. Ask for the real truth to be revealed. Now allow your awareness to become spacious and vast all around you, free to all sides. From this vastness, put out a fervent prayer, invitation, or simple welcome. Let your inner being know that you are open, willing to listen to yourself, willing to feel. Then invite the hidden feelings that you've previously denied into the vast embrace of your awareness. Let this embrace be large enough to include the secret emotions. Welcome the feelings you pretended to yourself didn't exist. Your feelings will feel so welcomed, they will arise. Naturally, they will come and they will go, and what will remain in your own vast acceptance. Notice how your essence is untouched by anything that comes through it. Be honest with yourself. Be willing to feel the truth of your inner life. So, I suppose typical for Scorpios, they feel deep and they don't normally let out their true feelings. It's not necessarily that they are secretive, although that's the general knowledge and view about Scorpios, but they do feel deep, they go to the extreme, and they don't usually open up. So perhaps they are not necessarily secretive, but they don't always open up. The problem is, it's okay not to always open up to other people, but it's not okay not to be honest to yourself. So Scorpios, time for introspection, time to be honest with yourselves and to be prepared for things to change according to how you actually feel and how things are going to serve you from here on, not what you thought was right for you up to this point and the way you was going up to this point without actually acknowledging completely your true deepest feelings and emotions. Sagittarius, the card I pulled for you is called Discernment. Truth is calling you to be more vigilant in your discernment. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the confusion of the mind. Should I do this or should I do that? The mind is a tricky place to dwell. It's always changing. It's a morass. Trying to be discerning by checking your thoughts is like walking into quicksand. You get sucked into a desperate struggle that usually ends in disaster. Stop looking in your mind for answers. Instead, place your awareness on your body. The body is the barometer of your soul. If you have a question, ask it and then breathe into the front of your body. If your body remains relaxed, neutral, or easy, feel free to take the plunge or take the action needed. If your body signals you with a glitch, or if your breath catches, or you feel uneasy, do not take the action. To be truly discerning, listen to your body. It never lies. I believe this is very typical and apt for Sagittarians. I also feel that Sagittarians have to make decisions, not that everyone else doesn't, actually, to be fair, but they went through a difficult time with their, what was it, Saturn return I think they had for 2 years. Life has been really difficult, at least 2 years actually, for Sagittarians, and I did say that before. So if you need to make a decision, Sagittarians, I was actually speaking about that today. Just listen, not to your mind, but to your heart and your body. If we need to convince ourselves about something and bring a lot of supportive arguments about something, then it's not the right course of action. When something feels right, we don't have to talk ourselves too much into it. We just feel that is the right thing to do. We arrive to that conclusion in a very natural way. And the only reason we feel like we need to think about it and weigh up and think about pros and cons is because of fears. So I really find this really good and helpful and guiding for Sagittarians. Capricorns, your message is about blessings. You are being showered in blessings. They are everywhere, all around you. It's up to you to open and receive them, recognize them, and use them to their fullest. Now whatever comes unexpected to be a gift from God. In the unexpected, hidden blessings are revealed. Look to the moments of synchronicity, to the moments of simplicity. Listen deeply. Grace is trying to get through to you. The blessedness of life requires that we actively look for the signs, the signals, the answers to our deepest prayers in life around us. Blessings are everywhere. Each moment is blessed. Open up your heart to receive the bounty already here. As someone with Moon in Capricorn, I find this very resonating actually. I always look for signs. I said many times that in making decisions, I first ask for guidance and then I wait for the signs to guide me. So I really hope that this is quite self-explanatory for Capricorns. A bit more attention to what already there is, more grateful so we can receive more of what we have and like, and to be careful not to reject by not recognizing or by not being thankful. Again, whatever changes are coming, be open and understand that the unexpected also brings blessed new beginnings. Everything happens for a reason, and if some doors close, it's because others have to be open. Every ending heralds a new beginning, a new dawn, new hope. So, Capricorns, pay attention to the plenty of blessings that is already present in your life. For Aquarians, I got a card called Life's Challenges. Life offers us challenges so we can expand our abilities, stretch our horizons, and strengthen in ourselves. Has some challenges been arising lately? Problems are best solved when we come from the certainty that the solution is already here. Close your eyes and imagine receiving 3 balloons filled with empowering internal resources. One is filled with trust, one with wisdom, and one with clarity. Imagine breathing these qualities in right now, letting them suffice your whole being. Now imagine how you'll feel 1 year from now as these qualities permeate your life. Breathe how you'll breathe a year from now. Feel how you'll feel. Then look back over the last year and see how effortlessly you faced that old challenge, how easily it was resolved. It may even seem as though it was never really a problem. That grace somehow handled it all. From the certainty that the challenge has already been handled comes true inspiration. Start from this certainty. I have always spoken about this. If we want something to happen, we need to believe it has already happened. Brings to mind the famous quote of Henry Ford: whether you think you're right, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So it's all in the mind. Very important what vision you hold in order to make your dreams come true. If you don't trust, if you doubt, if you don't see it possible, how can then become reality? If you do believe in it, it will, because everything once was a thought or a dream. And if you can think about it and imagine it, it will be possible. It is part of evolution. But it does require, and this is in itself a challenge, aside to all the challenges we know Aquarians have been through in the last few years. This is a challenge in itself for Aquarians, because they tend to be very much in their own mind. So I believe the hidden message here is also controlling your mind, Aquarians. You are visionaries, you have imagination, creativity, but you have to also have self-confidence and trust in what you're hoping for to turn reality. And last but not least, Pisces. Guess what? Non-attachment. Love my Pisces. Have you been investing importance in the things of life? Have you become attached to items, symbols, tokens, or even people? Are you entertaining the notion that something on the outside can give you anything? It's time to relax and let go. This is so very Pisces, is unreal. I mean, proper strong Pisces energy. We all know that it might not resonate with everyone if they have stronger placements, if they have other planets, stronger placements of other planets of their chart. Sorry, Mercury is still retrograde in my sign. And also depending on the aspects, but strong Pisces energy will definitely resonate with this. Let's continue with the message. Now that everything is on loan, practice a light relationship with things, for they are the Play-Doh of reality. Offer an open-handed relationship with loved ones. Hold them as you would a precious and delicate bird that's free to fly and soar and return when it will. Close your eyes and imagine cutting the energetic cord that attaches things or people to you. Put light at both ends and send love. Know that the previous attachment was merely an illusionary idea. Non-attachment is freedom. From everything that I know about Pisces, this, especially I would say Pisces women, but Pisces men as well, to be fair actually, but this is completely self-explanatory. Pisces are very deep, very sensitive and sensible, and they do tend to get attached to outside factors, whether things or people, because they are very loving and emotional, and they need a lot of love and emotion. However, what Pisces need to realize is that nobody can love them as they can love, and they need to vibrate at the right frequency so they attract the right person where they share from the same level and not from a place and space of neediness. Not that they are needy, but they are very idealistic, and they expect people to feel like them, and the reality is people don't. Not everyone is just as emotional or sensitive. Not everyone needs the same amount of connection with a partner. Not everyone understands them. So they need to be self-sufficient first and foremost. And only then will they find the right person for themselves. And they do need to learn about freedom, Pisces, because they like to be independent, but they also have to learn to give independence to their partner. And the true love means that that person keeps coming back to you because they want to, not because they have to. That's when you will know if somebody really loves you, and that they love you for who you are, and because they truly feel that way, not because they need for whatever reason, or they feel constraints or responsibilities. A tip for Pisces, because they are somehow more responsive to love and affection, which is fine. We all need love. We all need to be loved and to be in love and to give love, but it has to be non-attached. It is actually something that every star sign should learn about and how to practice it. Essential for this experience of life and love. So I hope this will somehow, at least to some degree, prepare everyone for the changes ahead. Obviously they won't just happen overnight. They might have started already, and they may have effect for a while still. After, I think Saturday is the new moon in Aries. I really, really hope that everyone is going to look inwards, find their strength and wisdom, be ready for the changes, understand their blessings, even if in disguise, because something first has to break and disappear in order for something else to have room to come into our life. But at least we can know for sure that we are guided to embrace the changes, because they will turn out to be a positive, transformative experience that is going to push us forward in life. And make sure no one falls back. If you started the change process already, do not give up, do not stop. Keep moving forward and push through. You definitely don't want to fall back into the old patterns, people. And until I see you next time, or hear you or you me, love and be loved.